All right, today we're cracking open a pretty dense technical analysis report for a company called Teleflex Incorporated. That's ticker TFX. We're going to cut through all the jargon, all the confusing signals, and distill it all down into a clear 5-minute breakdown. So let's get right into it. So this is really the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you look at a stock like TFX, you have to wonder, after a pretty volatile few months, is this medical device company actually getting ready for a major move up? The report we're digging into, it gives a buy rating, but it's cautious. It's packed with warnings. It's this classic tug of war between some really bullish momentum on one side and some very real obstacles on the other. So let's break down that evidence, and we'll start with where this stock has been lately. To really understand where our stock might be going, you gotta first look at where it's been. And let me tell you, TFX has been on quite a ride. So this whole journey really kicked off back in early July, around $117. It took a quick dip to a low of about 109, but then it just started this steady climb, hitting a peak of over 133 in mid-September. It's kind of settled just below that peak since then, which, brings us right to the big question. Is this a launch pad for the next leg up, or is this thing just running out of gas? Okay, so let's put on our bull-colored glasses for a second. Why are some traders getting so excited about this? Well, the report points to some pretty powerful technical indicators that suggest the buyers are really starting to take control. The very first piece of evidence for the bulls is an indicator called on-balance volume. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Think of it like this. It's a way of tracking the flow of money into a stock. So when the stock closes higher for the day, all of that day's trading volume gets added to the running total. When it closes lower, that volume gets subtracted. So a rising OBV basically means more money, more buying pressure is coming in on the up days. It's a classic sign of accumulation. And this is exactly why the report's optimistic. TFX's OBV is flashing a buy signal. It's suggesting that even when the price dipped recently, smart money was still flowing in. Investors were using those little pullbacks as a chance to buy. And that, right there, is a really strong sign of underlying strength. All right, that's 1 point for the bulls. But wait, there's more. Let's move to the next indicator, another classic for traders. It's called the MACD, which stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. Now, don't worry, you don't need to be a math whiz here. The most important thing on this slide is the relationship between these numbers. The MACD line has crossed above its signal line. This is what's called a buy crossover, and it's one of the most fundamental bullish signals you can get in technical analysis. It basically screams that upward momentum is picking up speed. Okay, so we've got positive money flow. We've got accelerating momentum. Sounds like a slam dunk, doesn't it? Well, not so fast. The report is very clear that there are some pretty serious storm clouds brewing on the horizon. So now we've got to flip the coin and see what's giving traders pause. What are the big roadblocks that could stop this rally dead in its tracks? And the biggest obstacle that the report mentions is a huge one. It's a technical level known as the 200-day simple moving average. For any stock, this can be a massive psychological and technical barrier. So what the heck is a moving average? Well, it's just the average closing price over a set period of time. In this case, the last 200 trading days. It's kind of like a compass for the stock's long-term health. If you're trading above it, that's a healthy sign, but trading below it, not so much. For TFX, that magic number is $138.15. And because the stock is currently trading below that level, the 200-day average is acting like a heavy ceiling, just pressing down on the price. It's going to take a whole lot of buying power to break through that. All right, the next warning sign comes from a momentum gauge called the Relative Strength Index. This one helps us figure out if a stock's recent run-up has been a little too much too soon. Think of the RSI as a speedometer for the stock on a scale from 0 to 100. The key levels are 70 and 30. If it gets above 70, that suggests the stock is overbought, like the engine is overheating, and it might be due for a cool down. Below 30 means it's oversold and could be ready for a bounce. So where is TFX right now? It's sitting at 62.25. The report calls this neutrally shy of overbought, which in plain English means it's not in the red zone just yet, but it's getting kind of close. It just doesn't have a ton of room to run higher before it starts flashing those, hey, I'm getting tired warning signals. So you've got this push and this pull, right? You've got bullish momentum on one side and these major resistance levels on the other. This whole thing sets up a fascinating conflict, and the winner is going to be decided at a few really key price levels. And this right here, this is the battleground. Think of the support levels on the left as floors or safety nets that could hold the price up. You see that foundational one down at 120? Then on the right, you've got the resistance levels. Those are the ceilings the price needs to smash through. The first ceiling is just above its recent peak, but the final boss battle, that's that 200-day moving average at 138.15. So after weighing all of this conflicting evidence, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the bullish momentum, the warning signs, and this price battleground, what is the final call from this analysis? And there you have it. The report basically tallies up the signals, 5 for the bulls, 3 for the bears, 3 neutral, and where does it land? A medium confidence buy. So it's not a screaming, full-throated endorsement, but it is a pretty clear tilt to the upside. So let's just break down what that really means. 1, the bullish trend is real and it has momentum. 2, the path higher is definitely not clear. There are big hurdles in the way. And 3, the final advice is for buyers to be selective. Maybe wait for the price to prove itself by getting above $132 before jumping on board. And in the end, that leaves us with this one fascinating question. You've got this strong underlying momentum pushing up from below, but you also have this heavy ceiling of resistance pressing down from above. Which one of those forces is going to win the battle and decide where TFX stock goes next? Well, that's what traders will be watching.